Discapacidad Televisión.
¡Hola mundo!
Primer canal de televisión dedicado al colectivo de personas con discapacidad desde 2006.
Hola, bienvenidos a Discapacidad Televisión. Recuerda suscribirte para no perderte los últimos estrenos y programas en vivo. Danos un me gusta, y así nos ayudarás a conocerte mejor y saber qué programación es tu favorita. Por favor, no te olvides de compartir, así, más personas podrán disfrutar de Discapacidad Televisión y toda su programación. Muchas gracias.
Imagine la vida en un mundo sin luz, formas ni color.
Así vivo yo. Mi nombre es Enrique Alberto Bustos Garay y tengo discapacidad visual desde los 17 años.
Un accidente y el desprendimiento de retina lo dejaron invidente, pero nada lo detuvo. Logró ser comunicador, locutor, cantante y constituyó su empresa, pues para él no hay imposibles. A sus 63 años, sabe que las barreras son las que generan discapacidad.
Si me dan un bastón guía como este, si el transporte es accesible, si cuento con un piso podotáctil, no tengo discapacidad.
La indiferencia es lo que golpea la dignidad de los más de 3 millones de personas con discapacidad en el país. Actitudes como la de algunos malos conductores que no respetan su pase gratuito en el transporte público.
Desconocen y al uno presentar el carnet amarillo te dicen, ¿qué es eso? Paga tu pasaje. Le digo, este es lo que me permite el pase. Le digo, no, paga tu pasaje si no te bajas.
Con un bastón guía, Enrique Bustos recorre de memoria la salida de su vivienda, pero su paso se vuelve inseguro en la vía pública, frente a una pista o en espera del transporte.
Necesitamos que usted, señor alcalde, haga respetar la ley y nuestro derecho que tenemos más de 3 millones de personas a contar con un transporte totalmente accesible, inclusivo y sin barreras.
Cruzar una calle le tomará a usted unos segundos. Para él es jugarse la vida a diario. Seamos solidarios y hagamos respetar en los buses y micros el carnet amarillo que ellos portan. El Ministerio de Transportes y Comunicaciones exhorta a los conductores a cumplir la norma.
En este mes de octubre, mes de la persona con discapacidad, por favor, amigo transportista, respeta este carnet.
Don Enrique nos recuerda que la discapacidad no debe generar lástima, sino respeto a los derechos humanos.
Vamos a dormir.
¿Pero por qué los acostamos sin comer?
¿Viste que nosotros tenemos que dormir de noche?
Sí.
Bueno, la heladera también.
Mentira.
¿De verdad? ¿Escuchas eso? Está roncando.
¿Y mañana va a estar despierta?
Sí. Mañana sí.
El hambre no tiene final feliz. En la Argentina 1 millón de niñas y niños se van a dormir sin comer. Tu donación mensual puede cambiar esta historia. Dona ahora.
Discapacidad Televisión.
¡Hola mundo!
Primer canal de televisión dedicado al colectivo de personas con discapacidad desde 2006. A continuación, Footless, más allá de una amputación. Presenta EE.UU BECKWITH. Características de este programa. Audio en inglés, subtítulos en castellano.
Hello there, my lovely, beautiful, talented, and delightful internet friends. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me here today on Footless Joe, where I am still Joe, and I am still, indeed, missing a foot. This video is going to be structured a little bit different than some of my other videos. This is a video message, a video letter directly to one individual, but I want you, my lovely audience, to know that this is a video for absolutely everyone, and I think the concepts and ideas and challenges and struggles that I talk about in this are actually things that many of us have felt, especially over the past 10 months. But with that being said, the rest of this video is to the one, the only, the amazing Molly Burke. The very last thing before we dive in, a huge thank you to all of my patrons over on Patreon for sponsoring this video, for making these videos possible. I cannot say thank you enough. If you'd like to be a part of our Patreon community or check out what that could mean for you, link is on screen and also down below. But without further ado, let's actually dive in.
I think I've put a lot of pressure on myself this year to be people's escape, to be people's positive distraction. We're 10.5 months in, and I can't keep pretending I'm okay.
Hi there, Molly. My name is Joe, and it is delightful to virtually meet you. Before we dive into the meat of this video, I just want to say I feel like I'm channeling my inner Molly today because I had my hair dyed a really cute color yesterday. Dark purple with just a hint of some light blue at the ends. And you always have your hair really cute colors, so thank you for the hair inspiration. So a couple days ago, your video titled Being Honest About What's Happening in My Life popped up on my feed. I clicked it and I listened to the whole thing. Oh, I just spilled hot tea on myself again. Goodness. I'm not good at keeping liquid in cups. So much of what you said in this video I can deeply relate to, and I just wanted to take a moment to let you know how your words were received.
I didn't want to burden you with my struggles.
I know that this was a vulnerable video for you to make. I know it's something that you had anxiety and concern, cares about you. The list goes on of things that you are and, in quotes, should be grateful for, but nevertheless, you've had a really, really difficult go of things over the past year. And you talked about how you haven't wanted to talk about that, how you've wanted to be people's, light and hope and inspiration during a really difficult time, and so you've tried to be really positive on camera, which I think is a very worthy goal. However, that has come at the expense of feeling like you are being dishonest and draining you.
It's funny because I'm telling you not to feel guilt, but I feel guilt about the fact that that isn't enough to keep me happy right now, that I'm still in pain, that I'm still struggling. And so it's been hard for me to just feel like I can come on here and be honest and say that I'm not okay. And I know that for many of you, you see me as a pillar of hope because I am somebody who has so deeply struggled in my past. And because I'm somebody who's overcome those struggles, I know many of you look to me for hope that you can overcome your struggles. That is another pressure that I put on myself, that I can't shatter that for you, that I don't want to break that hope. And what I will say is I hope this doesn't break that for you, because my hope isn't broken.
There's a specific moment in your video where you talk about the fact that you really hope that you talking about your struggles doesn't make anyone else lose hope, because you're not losing hope even though it's hard right now and you're gonna find your way through it. I just wanted to assure you that being honest, being vulnerable about where you actually are does not make people lose hope. I would actually argue the contrary. Posting videos where you are honestly being vulnerable and talking about things that are hard to put into words, that are emotionally painful and difficult, gives me hope, gives so many other people hope, because I think it's a really understandable and very promoted mindset to put forth this face or this video or this post of positivity when we are all struggling through this pandemic. But the problem is, when people are doing that, we all end up feeling disconnected because we're all having a really damn hard time. And to see someone say, I am really not okay, like, yes, I have things that are good in my life, yes, I am absolutely aware of the privileges that I have, but I am really not okay. That feels like a breath of fresh air. Seeing someone else be willing to drop at least a part of the mask is so incredibly refreshing, because as important as having a positive leaning mindset is, having a mindset of perseverance and I'm going to find a way through this and somehow it's going to be okay even if it isn't right now, those are such important things. But in the culture we live in, there's this positive always mindset promoted, and that's just not realistic. That's not human. The reality is that you are not the only person who is crying every day. You are not the only person who doesn't feel like their pain is valid. And that's really the reason that I wanted to make this video, because you talked more than once in your video about the fact that you would never degrade someone else's struggles just because they aren't yours.
The the fact that one thing that pains me is when people come up to me after they've seen me give a public speech, after they've watched my videos and they see me in public, and they come up to me and they say things like, you know, I was so depressed over my divorce and now I feel guilty because I haven't gone through nearly as much as you have. And I'm like, stop right there. Your pain is valid.
Like, you talk about the fact that after giving speeches, people will approach you and be like, you know, I shouldn't have been having such a hard time with my divorce because, gosh, your life has been so much harder. And you talked about how that really hurts you to hear because pain is valid. If you are feeling pain, it is valid. And I just wanted to say, Molly, your pain is valid, regardless of what you are grateful for, the good things in your life, regardless of the privilege that you have, regardless of anything. What you are facing is really difficult. We are in a bizarre time in the world. Everyone is struggling, but additionally, you have had some very severe and very specific things that you've been struggling with this year. And that's just the things you've talked about publicly, right? What you are going through is real, and there is no reason to feel like you shouldn't be allowed to have the space or the time or the words to put into words what is hurting you, what you are struggling with. For the long list of very trying things that you've faced this year, I am so sorry that you've had to go through those. I'm so sorry for how that has left you feeling now. What you feel right now is entirely understandable and natural and valid. That doesn't mean that it doesn't hurt, but you're not weird and you're not alone for feeling that way. And please know that no one who has a remotely level head is at all judging you for struggling. Struggling is a part of our human experience, as difficult as that is, and there is no need to always be happy or to always be positive. I too have felt that pressure to make myself be okay, or at least seem okay, because other people have it so much worse than me, and it's really easy and really understandable to feel like other people have it worse, so I need to get my shit together. I need to be fine because other people, they deserve the space not to be fine, but I need to be fine for myself and for other people because I don't have it as bad as them. The thing is, there is one person in the entire world who holds the crown for worst life, worst situation, but that doesn't mean that they're the only person who gets to feel pain. Your experiences are real, your experiences are valid, and I'm so sorry for the pain that you are feeling. I know, and your audience knows, that you are going to find your way through it because you are a kick-ass, badass, amazing, perseverant human being, but that doesn't mean that it's not okay to break down. It doesn't mean that it's not okay to show vulnerability to people who you want to show that to, because there are so many of us who are here for you, who want to see you exactly where you are. And to anyone in my audience who is watching this, I wanted to take a moment to say the same thing. Your pain, my dear internet friend, is absolutely valid. Other people may indeed have it worse, and I'm gonna go ahead and put worse in quotes as well, because everything is subjective. How we experience difficult things is influenced by our previous experiences, by the support that we have. What matters is that your pain and your struggle deserve to be heard. They deserve to be supported. During this pandemic, especially those of us who tend to be more empathetic or more people pleasers, I think have sort of naturally fit into the role of always trying to support, or always trying to bring other people up, or always trying to be positive. And again, while those are beautiful aspirations, they come at a high cost, and a cost that is not necessary. You do not need to shield the world from your pain, because your pain, your hurt, your struggle, your challenge is equally as real as anything anyone else is facing, and there's no reason to stuff that down just because other people have it worse, or just because other people are struggling. As a country and as a world, and also individually, we will find our way through this. You are infinitely more perseverant than you are aware of. I am more perseverant than I'm aware of. When things get really tough, it's easy to think that there's no way to make it, but I promise you there is. But it's really important that we take the time to spend on self-care, to spend on our mental health, to invest in ourselves, because I know I've said this a lot, and I hope it's not cliche at this point, but because you are absolutely worth it, and what you are feeling is very, very valid. So to you, Molly, thank you for making this video. Thank you for publishing it. I truly appreciate it. You've made me feel less alone by talking honestly about your struggles. It is hard to not only put those things into words, but then also to hit publish on a video platform where your words are going to go out to hundreds of thousands of people. I know in moments when I've done similar things, when I've been vulnerable and it's been uncomfortable, I'm always like terrified the moment before I hit publish, and the moment after I'm always like, that was a mistake, I should take it down right away. And I just want to say thank you for leaving that video up. Thank you for being real. It helps. your vulnerability is a beautiful thing, and it is helping people just as much, if not more, than all of your beautiful positivity. Like I said to you, my lovely watcher, Molly's video is linked down below. I'd highly recommend going and checking out her channel if you haven't already. I'm guessing you know who she is. She's pretty fabulous. But if you don't know her, Molly Burke is a content creator here on YouTube who creates amazing videos about everything from being a blind woman and her experience with that, to story times, to fashion, to all kinds of cool things. And she always also has awesome hair colors, which I really like. So Sophie will be joining us, hopefully, fingers crossed, for the duration of this video. And before we go any further, yes, I have fantastic mermaid hair and I absolutely love it. I feel like a pretty mermaid and that's all that matters. Before we fully dive into what I'm about to tell you about, I wanted to let you know that this video is brought to you by my amazing Patreon members over on, you guessed it, Patreon. There's a link on screen and down below if you're interested in joining my Patreon community or checking it out or finding out what that's all about. I would love to see you over there. This is gonna be a very unedited video. I'm gonna try to just speak and put it up because I want you guys to know where I honestly am. And I sometimes feel like editing gets in the way of that. It dilutes it. Editing is fantastic. I love it. I do it in most of my videos, but here goes nothing. So I have spent the majority of my life since I was 13 onward always having some big thing to fight against, some big thing to battle. First it was falling off the horse and breaking my ankle and going through surgeries as a kid, you know, oh no. Then I think 15 is when my house burned down the first time. Oh no, we've got to adjust to that. And then it was more surgeries, then going away to college and having to come back home for medical issues, you know, and then more surgeries and more issues and going through significant relational, emotional, spiritual trauma and fighting my way through that. And then it was having my leg amputated, oh my god, and then having it done again because, oh my god, it didn't work the first time. And now we are at a point in the story where things have really quieted down. And this is a day that I have dreamed about for a very long time, right? You know, like I have not been a fan of being in pain. I've not been a fan of going through traumatic things. But I've noticed there is a significant level of discomfort that I have about this. When you have grown up in chaos, when you've grown up with bombs kind of hypothetically, theoretically exploding around you, you dream a lot about that not being the case, about like living a simple, peaceful life and being able to actually like take a breath for a moment and, oh god, what would normal be like? All those lucky people with their normal lives who aren't like fighting to survive one thing or another all the time. But now that I've reached here, for the time being, I'm not gonna jinx it, for the time being, and I've been here for a little while, I realized that I don't really know who I am outside of struggle. Like I don't know who I am outside of pushing and fighting and trying to persevere and win, because the majority of my identity has been forged that way. And so now that I'm in this phase of life where my leg is basically okay, it's working out, we got some ups and downs, we got some exciting stuff with it, but like generally speaking, it's all right. My mental health is something I am continually working on, taking time for, trying to take care of myself, but I am not in any kind of dangerous mental place right now, which I'm extremely grateful for. I am so uncomfortable. Like I don't know what the point is, which is funny because I've often said that about when everything is so difficult and so trying and hard and painful and hurtful, like what's the point, right? But having struggle gives you a reason and it can give you a purpose. I often see like cute little signs like find purpose in the pain, and it's like people's mottos and stuff like that, and I very much believe that. I very much adhere to that you can find purpose in the difficult things that you're going through, and I've not struggled with that idea for a long time. I find purpose in the pain. I think it's the best thing for me that I can possibly do when rough things happen. I create meaning for them. I create a reason why they mean something to me and what I'm gonna do about it and how I'm gonna better my world or my relationships or myself. But when you're just back to living life, just living life for the first time in, I can't do math off the top of my head, but almost 2 decades, I don't know who I am or what I'm worth. And I think that's probably the bigger issue. I feel like a lot of how I view myself in a positive light has been forged through the fire. Like, I know that I'm a strong person. I know that things will happen in the future that will be extraordinarily difficult and I won't know how to get through them, but I will somehow find a way because that is who I am. even if in some moments I don't feel like it. Like, I know that's who I am, but I don't know who I am outside of that battle, outside of that war. I feel like I've learned a lot about using my voice through difficult times, which again, I'm very grateful for, and I've spent a lot of time working on and nurturing. But the peace and the quiet thing, I don't know what to do with. I suddenly feel like a fraud for talking about anything mental health related, or really like talking about anything even here on this channel, because I'm like, I am not actively in emotional distress fighting against something, so who am I? Am I no one? Am I meaningless? Am I purposeless? Like, have I never actually found the point after all? And it's not that I'm wishing for hard things, because I'm not. I'm very grateful that I am not in extraordinary amounts of pain. I'm very grateful that I'm not presently facing any other surgeries. I'm very, very grateful that my mind is in a place that is reasonably, relatively clear. But I don't know what that means for me, because all I have ever been, at least in years that I can remember, is a fight. And I wanted to put this into words while it was heavy on my mind, because I don't think I'm the only person who feels this way. For those of us who have grown up in chaos or trauma or survival mode all the time, I think a lot of us think about the day that it's not going to be like that anymore, or dream about it, or convince ourselves it isn't possible because it seems so far-fetched that life could calm down and be normal and not hurt so much. And we wish for that, we ache for that. It's weird to realize that I'm 29 and I don't really know anything about just living life. I feel like I know a lot about, like, not a lot, that sounds like much more than it is. I feel like I know enough about perseverance and difficult situations. I feel like that's my strength, right? I don't feel like just being a person is my strength. And I think in some way I've also tied a lot of my job, a lot of my work to this struggle, right? Because YouTube and social media, and hopefully in the near future public speaking as our world hopefully opens back up, what I talk about is like difficult things. And I fully realize that I can do that when I am not in active distress, but I just got like crazy dizzy. Let me pause for just a moment. My therapist always tells me to like listen to my body and pay attention to its signals. And I always wonder that getting super dizzy and out of nowhere doesn't have something to do with the fact that this is actually a really difficult subject for me and I don't know what I'm doing. Long story short, I wanted to just voice for any of us who have ever felt the same way that sometimes it feels like the most difficult battle is just living normal life. It's easy to always be on edge, waiting for the next theoretical bomb to go off. It's a weird kind of discomfort to realize that you are very deeply uncomfortable with things just being perhaps a little peaceful and quiet and normal, and I'm not sure how to live in this. I'm not sure how to find myself in this. Long story short, I want to let you know where I was because I feel like I'm probably not the only person here, and I just realized how to put words to it yesterday when I was talking to Brian. I was like, this is why I've been so uncomfortable lately. You know that feeling when like your clothes just don't fit right and nothing in your closet fits right and you can't tell what it is, but something's off? I felt that way about like life for months now. Let me know if you've ever felt this way in the comment section down below. Let me know if you've never felt this way and you have no idea what I'm talking about, which is completely understandable. And frankly, I hope that might be the case because maybe that means you haven't had to face really awful things, and I definitely hope that is the case for you. If you are new to my channel and you haven't yet joined our Footless family by hitting that subscribe button, I would love if you did so. However, this is a bit of a weird video to come in on, but this is where we're at, so I'd love to have you here. Also, while you're at it, you want to hit that like button. It helps this video get out to more people, and I would truly appreciate it. To my patrons over on Patreon, you have my eternal gratitude. Thank you for being a part of my Patreon community. I truly appreciate each and every one of you. If you are interested in what Patreon is, or what it does, or what you might get from it, check out the link on screen or down below. It is a platform to support and connect with your favorite creators, and I would love to see you over there if you feel like it. And to you watching this video right now, I come come to you today from a previously unexplored on-film corner of my house, and there is a reason for that. The reason is sitting just off camera angle, off screen. There we go, that's the word I was looking for. So I am fully aware of the fact that you do not need me to say this, but quarantine has been weird and difficult for basically all of us. The past 6 months have been a very odd journey in change and instability and insecurity. But for me, there has been one bright spot that I haven't talked about until now because I wanted to save it specifically for this video. And that, my friends, is a new hobby of sorts that I acquired. So a few months ago, I was perusing my email when I came across a request from a company that I hadn't heard of yet called My Garden, asking if they could send me one of their things and if I would just do an honest review on it. From the moment I pulled up their site, I was like, yes, sign me up. I would love to do this for you, because what they are is an indoor, app-controlled, which is very important for people like me who do not have green thumbs, fully functioning garden. And I'm gonna let you in on a secret here. Brian and I have tried to garden before. We really have. I tried flowers a few summers ago. That ended horribly. And most recently, this past summer, Brian thought he would grow tomatoes. And, well, let's just not talk about how that went. So considering the fact that for the most part, Brian and I have been confined within these walls for months now, I thought, heck, why not try something new? Why not try a new hobby? Why not have something growing inside that's actually alive? I kind of wondered if that would make a difference in my mental health. Spoiler alert, it definitely did. As we dive in today, if you'd hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, maybe ring that bell notification if you're feeling extra generous, it'd be fantastically appreciated and helps my channel. So today is day 4, and this morning, I came down the stairs with this little guy and this little guy. We got some kale looking to make an appearance. It's working. So I just got a notification on my phone from Kelby, who is my gardener, that today is the day to add in the plant food. It even comes with a handy little teaspoon. So I'm just gonna pop open the water area here. Something I find very interesting is that the first plants to pop up are not the ones that are growing the fastest. Like, for instance, the mustard and the cilantro were 2 of the last ones to kind of sprout. But look at them now. My little cilantro here is looking quite happy. And then we got green mustard, pretty tall, and then red mustard over there. It's awesome to come down every morning and be like, I wonder what has grown overnight. This is really fun. I'm really enjoying this. You checking on the plants too, Sophie? Or are you just playing with your tennis ball? Okay, so we are just below 3 weeks on the little plant growth development. It's absolutely nuts to me how much these plants have grown in less than 3 weeks. Also extraordinarily exciting news. None of our animals have bothered this like at all. It's a little suspicious. I'm wondering if they're waiting for their opportunity to strike, or if they're just gonna be good puppies and a kitty and leave it alone. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a freaking legit garden on our hands. Oh, it's too overexposed, you can't see it. Hold on. Look at this luscious tower of beautiful greenery. Like, check this guy out. He's so happy. These big leaves here. My personal favorite is down here. These leaves look so like healthy and pretty. They look plastic. Look at that delicious kale ready to put into a smoothie that I'm gonna hate. I don't like kale smoothies, but I know that they're good for you, and I'd feel a lot better if it was my own kale that I was eating. It's legitimately been very life-giving to me to know that every morning I'm gonna wake up and I'm gonna see like new life and growth. The world's a crazy place right now. It's been mentally hard for I think pretty much everybody, and having something new that I can like take care of and tend to and see progress and change and have something living in my home when it's hard to get out of your home right now is it's such a gift. It's absolutely delightful and I love it. So I was making dinner tonight and I realized that the recipe called for cilantro, and I actually have cilantro that we grew ourselves. This is the first time I will ever be cooking with food that I actually grew. Drum roll, please. Ta-da! Look, I have grown things. I have grown things that are actually alive and flourishing, and I have consumed. For instance, most recently, I made some dill chicken with that dill right up there. Multiple times I have used the cilantro that we see. Just broke that leaf, that was not a great visual. That we see. So as someone who has never really gardened before or been too involved with like having a green thumb or growing my own food, this has been so cool. And it's also been an amazing mental health boost for me to see things that are alive and growing and evolving and changing. in my house at a time where it can kind of feel like time has stopped because, like I said, we're indoors most of the time. We're not seeing a ton of people. We're not involved in the outside world. And so it almost starts to feel like you're stuck in this just chamber where nothing ever changes and every day is the same. And so having something that's a very visual and alive reminder that things are changing, things are growing, has honestly been amazing to me. Like, especially as things were sprouting, I'd come down every morning excited to see like what the new growth was and which ones had popped up and did this one have a leaf yet? And oh look, cilantro grew like an inch overnight. It's been really cool and healthy for my brain and honestly my body with fresh things to have this as part of our household. Something that both Brian and I really appreciate about this is that it's pretty much foolproof. This whole system is controlled by an app and a virtual assistant by the name of Kelby, who lets you know, hey, your tank's low, you should really fill it up, or guess what, it's time to clean things. Also contained within the app, there's a whole plant book that tells you everything you need to know about certain plants and sizes and harvest times and all of that. This whole thing, from the lights coming on to turning off to watering it, can run on a completely automatic schedule, so you don't have to worry about it, so you don't have to hire someone to come watch your plants when you're going away for the weekend, though none of us are really doing that considering it's quarantine. But if you were going somewhere, this would take care of itself. You can even check on it with the live cameras that it has. How freaking cool is that? Like, if I ever wanted to watch my plants while I was out of the house, don't know I'd want to, but if I did want to, I could do that. So contractually, there were no stipulations about like what I could say or couldn't say about that. Like, this is honestly my opinion, and I just wanted to say that if this is something that sparks any interest or curiosity for you, please go check it out. This has been something that has really brought me a lot of joy, and as silly as it sounds, a little bit of purpose over the past month and a half, 2 months. Living in our very modern world, it's easy to be disconnected from living, growing things, the things that nourish our bodies, and to have a little bit of nature inside here with us has really been a mood boost, has really honestly helped. I don't know, it's just been really fun. I really like it, and I'd highly recommend it. Now, one thing that is very important to know, especially if you're someone who deals with any kind of physical challenges or is just not particularly physically strong, I would really recommend having someone else help you set this up. I tried doing it on my own, did not work, so I brought Brian in and we were able to get it worked out together, but it is a little bit of a process to set up. It's very clear what needs to be done, but it is much easier as a 2-person job than it would be as a 1-person job. With that being said, thank you so much to my garden for bringing this into my life and bringing me some joy and happiness over the past few months, which I am certain will continue. As mentioned before, check out all their links down below. With that being said, thank you so much for listening to me talk about this garden here today. I feel like it's like a silly small thing, but also it's kind of not. It's been a really cool new hobby to have and something that's really helped my mental health. Thank you to all my patrons for continuing to sponsor me. I cannot tell you how invaluable your support is, truly thank you. And to you watching this video right now, thank you so much for taking a few minutes out of your day here with me today. You could be anywhere in the world doing anything. You chose to hang out with me for a little bit, and I really appreciate that. I love you guys, I'm thinking about you, and I will see you in the next video. Bye guys.
Haven't heard from the sky all about it. Down the river, high tide flows around it. Through the whispers of pines, I hear them sing. The more you love, the more you live.
Discapacidad Televisión.
¡Hola mundo!
Primer canal de televisión dedicado al colectivo de personas con discapacidad desde 2006.
Hola, bienvenidos a Discapacidad Televisión. Recuerda suscribirte para no perderte los últimos estrenos y programas en vivo. Danos un me gusta, y así nos ayudarás a conocerte mejor y saber qué programación es tu favorita. Por favor, no te olvides de compartir, así, más personas podrán disfrutar de Discapacidad Televisión y toda su programación. Muchas gracias.
Vamos a dormir.
Pero ¿por qué los acostamos sin comer?
¿Viste que nosotros tenemos que dormir de noche?
Sí.
Bueno, la heladera también.
Mentira.
¿De verdad? ¿Escuchas eso? Está roncando.
¿Y mañana va a estar despierta?
Sí. Mañana sí.
El hambre no tiene final feliz. En la Argentina 1 millón de niñas y niños se van a dormir sin comer. Tu donación mensual puede cambiar esta historia. Dona ahora.
¿Qué estamos haciendo para que Lima sea una ciudad más inclusiva? En la región de América Latina, entre el 10 y el 12% es el consenso de población con algún tipo de discapacidad.
Yo subí a Metropolitano precisamente al alimentador pensando que era accesible para todos y me caí. Creo que este accidente, aunque fue muy negativo, fue positivo porque llegué a concientizar a las personas lo que era necesario hacer un cambio en este sistema, porque todos necesitamos un sistema accesible. Para salir diariamente de mi casa, llamo a un taxi de aplicación para preguntarle si puede llevar la silla de ruedas. Luego subo al taxi y bueno, me deja, si necesito en el Metropolitano.
La Plaza de 2 de Mayo y su renovación costó 1.9 millones de dólares y se hizo gracias a una donación japonesa administrada por el Banco Mundial. Pero tal vez lo más importante es que se hizo con la participación de personas con discapacidad.
Desde que el Banco Mundial y SOI nos llamaron a un grupo de personas con discapacidad porque manifestemos nuestras opiniones, me sentí incluida, ¿no? La verdad, fototáctil es vital y es súper importancia porque las personas ciudadanas usan mucho el metropolitano. Las rampas son una maravilla, no tenías que hacer esfuerzo, podías moverte con total libertad.
Este plan genera un contexto regulatorio en torno a la accesibilidad. En segundo lugar, nosotros, como institución internacional, el Banco Mundial, tiene unas salvaguardas que protegen a las poblaciones más vulnerables y que nos obligan, de cierta forma, a estar muy atentos a que esas poblaciones tengan acceso a los servicios públicos que nosotros financiamos.
El ascensor fue de vital importancia porque me permitió subir con facilidad sin necesitar a alguien que me ayude a apretar el botón porque los botones están abajo. Si fuera una persona ciega también me hubiera ayudado un montón porque estaba la señalización en braille y también me hablaba para saber en qué piso bajar y en qué piso subir.
Invito a que todas las personas podamos trabajar juntos, ¿no? El Banco Mundial y otras instituciones peruanas y de afuera, para lograr una ciudad cada vez más inclusiva, más moderna, una ciudad para todos.
Imagine la vida en un mundo sin luz, formas ni color.
Así vivo yo. Mi nombre es Enrique Alberto Bustos Garay y tengo discapacidad visual desde los 17 años.
Un accidente y el desprendimiento de retina lo dejaron invidente, pero nada lo detuvo. Logró ser comunicador, locutor, cantante y constituyó su empresa, pues para él no hay imposibles. A sus 63 años sabe que las barreras son las que generan discapacidad.
Si me dan un bastón guía como este, si el transporte es accesible, si cuento con un piso podotáctil, no tengo discapacidad.
La indiferencia es lo que golpea la dignidad de los más de 3 millones de personas con discapacidad en el país. Actitudes como la de algunos malos conductores que no respetan su pase gratuito en el transporte público.
Desconocen y al uno presentar el carnet amarillo te dicen, ¿qué es eso? Paga tu pasaje. Le digo, este es lo que me permite el pase. Le digo, no, paga tu pasaje si no te bajas.
Con un bastón guía, Enrique Bustos recorre de memoria la salida de su vivienda, pero su paso se vuelve inseguro en la vía pública, frente a una pista o en espera del transporte.
Necesitamos que usted, señor alcalde, haga respetar la ley y nuestro derecho que tenemos más de 3 millones de personas a contar con un transporte totalmente accesible, inclusivo y sin barreras.
Cruzar una calle le tomará a usted unos segundos. Para él es jugarse la vida a diario. Seamos solidarios y hagamos respetar en los buses y micros el carnet amarillo que ellos portan. El Ministerio de Transportes y Comunicaciones exhorta a los conductores a cumplir la norma.
En este mes de octubre, mes de la persona con discapacidad, por favor, amigo transportista, respeta este carnet.
Don Enrique nos recuerda que la discapacidad no debe generar lástima, sino respeto a los derechos humanos.
Diversidad es México. Personas con discapacidad. En México hay cerca de 6.180.000 personas con discapacidad, lo que representa el 4.9% de la población total, siendo la mayoría mujeres, con el 53%, y hombres, el 47% restante. El INEGI identifica a las personas con discapacidad como aquellas que tienen dificultad para llevar a cabo actividades consideradas básicas. Las más comunes son caminar, 48%, ver, 44%, oír, 22%, bañarse, vestirse o comer, 19%, recordar o concentrarse, 19%, y hablar o comunicarse, 15%. Aunado a ello, la discriminación es un aspecto que también sufren las personas con discapacidad, ya que 1 de cada 4 personas la ha padecido. Y según la encuesta nacional sobre discriminación, ENADIS 2017, las principales problemáticas que enfrentan son calles, instalaciones y transportes públicos inadecuados, 31.1%, falta de oportunidad para encontrar empleo, 30%, costo en cuidados, terapias y tratamientos, 21.5%. Este grupo de la población también enfrenta condiciones pronunciadas de exclusión. De acuerdo con resultados del ENADIS 2017, de las personas de 18 años o más encuestadas, el 25.4% de los hombres y 23.8% de las mujeres creen que las personas con discapacidad son de poca ayuda en el trabajo. Por ello, es fundamental la promoción y protección de sus derechos humanos para lograr su plena inclusión en la sociedad y puedan desarrollarse en condiciones de igualdad y dignidad. Todas y todos debemos respetar los derechos de las personas con discapacidad. Diversidad es México. Comisión Nacional de los Derechos Humanos. Defendemos al pueblo.
Yo soy Javier Alonso, yo nací sin piernas, soy una persona que vive con discapacidad. Yo hago una vida normal como cualquier persona. Realmente a veces pienso y siento que no soy como discapacitado, solo yo soy una persona que tiene un detalle en su cuerpo que no lo deja ser igual a los demás, pues, pero definitivamente yo hago lo mismo, manejo, trabajo, soy productor audiovisual, escribo comerciales, tengo un proyecto de bordado, tengo una propia marca y hago realmente lo normal que cualquier persona, pero bueno, pues solo no tengo piernas. Afortunadamente ya hay muchos espacios, ya el gobierno se puso las pilas y se dio cuenta que las personas con discapacidad estamos allá afuera. Hace falta muchísimo, sí hay rampas, sí hay espacios, sí hay elevadores, pero no hay transporte, por ejemplo, no hay camiones con rampas. El metrobús a veces va súper lleno, entonces no te puedes subir porque el espacio que está destinado para las personas con discapacidad viene ocupado. Yo creo que sí hace falta mucho todavía. Estamos muy en pañales, definitivamente, o sea, sí hay, pero podría haber más. Un claro ejemplo de movilidad es que aquí hay rampa, está padrísima la rampa, está muy bonita, está muy amplia, pero avanzas media cuadra y no hay rampa. No me la voy a subir, no voy por abajo. Entonces te pones en riesgo porque vienes en sentido de los carros. Tienes que librarla hasta que ya encuentras otra rampa y amablemente te puedes subir. Pero mientras tanto, ya ahí perdiste tiempo y vida probablemente. Es cansado también la silla de ruedas, o sea, es como un proceso. Yo en ese proceso tuve que aprender a usar el metro, subir y bajar yo la silla de ruedas, del camión, del micro. Sí hay personas que la vivimos diferente, ¿no? Y es un poco jugar con eso, como encontrar dimensión a que hay más allá de una silla de ruedas, porque pues si ves una persona con silla de ruedas y dices, no va a poder, y ya cuando subes 8 pisos sin elevador, cuando haces danza aérea, cuando te subes al camión, al microbús, al metro, te das cuenta que sí hay más allá de una silla de ruedas, ¿no? Yo tengo 2 sobrinas que amo con todo el corazón y ellas han aprendido a partir de que su tío no tiene piernas, de que hay gente diferente y que la tienen que respetar. No nada más es como, los tenemos que incluir, es de, no, necesitamos espacios que reafirme que somos una mejor sociedad y que nos importan los demás y lo que necesitan. Eso yo creo que haría la diferencia de una sociedad que se interesa por los demás a una sociedad que necesita incluir a los demás. Yo no me visualizo como una persona que no tiene piernas. Es que no tengo piernas, ¿sabes? Ya me veo a la mitad y digo, qué fuerte. Y son esos momentos en los que digo, mira, está valiendo la pena lo que hago, está valiendo la pena ser quien soy. Y realmente todos podemos lograr nuestros sueños de alguna u otra forma y ser felices.
La Universidad Católica Boliviana San Pablo abre sus espacios educativos promoviendo medidas de acción positiva que favorece la inclusión en la educación superior de personas con necesidades educativas específicas, a través del área de inclusión, discapacidad y equidad, la cual facilita el tránsito adecuado en el acceso, permanencia y salida exitosa de sus estudiantes. Promueve la actualización en la formación docente sobre la temática. Desarrolla e implementa mecanismos y estrategias de apoyo equitativo en el aula. Aplica el modelo social de la discapacidad para transformar culturas y prácticas inclusivas. Todos los días en la Universidad Católica Boliviana trabajamos con entusiasmo, creando sinergias en la comunidad universitaria por la igualdad de oportunidades con responsabilidad y respeto, sobre todo personas.
No podemos seguir así.
No podemos seguir siendo invisibles.
No podemos seguir siendo 85 millones y que no nos vean.
No podemos seguir siendo 34 millones los que estamos al límite de la pobreza.
No podemos seguir siendo 10 millones los que no sabemos leer ni escribir.
No podemos seguir enfrentando barreras. No podemos seguir sin esperanza.
No podemos seguir esperando, porque ya esperamos toda la vida.
No podemos seguir.
No piensen que no podemos.
Podemos.
Podemos cambiar la historia.
Podemos construir una sociedad inclusiva.
Podemos ser parte de la reconstrucción de la región.
Juntos.
No hablen por nosotros, hablen con nosotros.
No sueñen por nosotros, sueñen con nosotros.
No avancen por nosotros, avancen con nosotros.
Hashtag Rompiendo Barreras. Banco Mundial.
Estacionamientos para personas con discapacidad. Porque nos mueve incluir. Te invitamos a conocer el uso correcto de los estacionamientos exclusivos para personas con discapacidad.
¡Vamos! Es importante que sepas que para utilizar los estacionamientos exclusivos, el vehículo debe ser conducido o trasladar a una persona con discapacidad. No olvides dejar a la vista tu credencial de discapacidad en original, al interior del vehículo, en el costado inferior izquierdo del parabrisas delantero. Recuerda, la Cruz de Malta no es un documento válido para hacer uso de estos estacionamientos y según la ley de tránsito, su uso indebido es una infracción grave. Carabineros e inspectores municipales son los encargados de fiscalizar y cursar las infracciones correspondientes. Respetar los estacionamientos exclusivos para las personas con discapacidad es respetar sus derechos.
Juli.
Sí.
¿Venís un segundo, por favor? ¿Cómo va todo?
Todo bien.
¿Bien? Genial, me alegro. Bueno, hoy se va a estar sumando un chico nuevo al equipo.
Bien.
Así que quiero que lo ayudemos, viste que el primer día no es fácil para nadie.
No.
Vos vas a ser el encargado de explicarle cómo funcionan las cosas.
Bien.
Tengámosle paciencia, viste que la adaptación no es fácil.
No, claro, obvio.
Si hay que explicarle las cosas 2 veces.
Se las explicamos 2 veces.
Sí, si hay que explicárselas 3 veces.
3 veces.
3 veces, perfecto. Mira, justo ahí viene.
Hola.
Hola. Mati, él es Juli.
Hola.
Juli va a ser el encargado de presentarte a los chicos del equipo y mostrarte cómo funciona todo por acá. Así que bueno, si quieren ir leyendo.
Vamos, te muestro todo.
Juli. Vámonos a sentir una más, ¿dale?
Sí. Freidora.
Y esta es la tostadora.
Bien, exacto. Bueno, en ese osito, poné la bebida.
¿La bebida?
Ah, sí, sí. Salen con de vainilla. No importa, tranquilo.
¿Conoces los programas que conforman a la CNDH? 6. Atención a personas con discapacidad. Este importante programa, perteneciente a la primera Visitaduría General, trabaja de manera conjunta con organizaciones de la sociedad civil y dependencias de los 3 órdenes de gobierno, a través de la promoción, difusión, orientación y acompañamiento en casos de presunta vulneración a los derechos humanos de las personas con discapacidad. Además, realiza investigaciones, informes y diagnósticos acerca del estado que guardan los derechos humanos de este sector de la población, a fin de dar a conocer las áreas de oportunidad, coadyuvando con la asertiva toma de decisiones en pro de la inclusión. Si consideras que tus derechos han sido vulnerados, acércate a nosotros. En la Comisión Nacional de los Derechos Humanos, defendemos al pueblo.
Soy José. Todas las mañanas me levanto, tomo desayuno y me voy al trabajo. Al llegar me pongo muy contento. He conocido entretenidos y buenos amigos. En mi empresa reconocen lo que hago. Estoy orgulloso de trabajar aquí. Siento que la vida me ha dado mucho. José es mi hijo, es sordomudo y sus logros son también nuestros logros.
Nosaltres atenem a gent molt simpàtica, gent amb caràcter, amb gent amb mal humor, amb gent carinyosa.
A mi m'encanta veure notícies.
Compartir el meu dia a dia doncs, amb la gent que estimo.
Soy culé del Barça.
A mí me hace feliz comer chocolate, aunque engorda.
estar amb la família o amb parella.
M'agrada anar a pujar la montaña.
A mí me gusta de baloncesto.
Que ara jo ballo amb hip-hop.
Mi comida favorita es pitichuas.
Sopa y algo más.
M'agrada molt la paella.
A veure, potser sona una mica raro, però el meu plat preferit és la coliflor.
Més de 40 anys que treballo amb persones amb diferents discapacitats i no n'he trobat encara dos iguals.
Esta pregunta yo os la hago a todos vosotros. ¿Soy infantil por el mero hecho de tener el síndrome de Down? Creo que no. Creo que todos somos diferentes, ¿no?
Bueno, tinc el meu caràcter així de riure i fer broma, però això no vol dir que siguis infantil.
Jo una mica també sóc infantil a vegades, però sóc adulta, doncs és segons la teva edat.
No soporto que nos den caramelos.
Que em donguin una certa atenció, però especial. I és el que a mi no m'agrada. Em poden tenir-la en compte, però és que, com abans he dit, igual.
La veritat és que a vegades tenen uns sentiments i unes emocions tan complexes.
Vivo sola.
Tenen la síndrome de Down, que no és una malaltia, com nosaltres. En general són persones molt saludables.
Jo no me'n recordo quan vaig estar malalta, jo ja.
Que al moment jo estic sana i estic amb molta grima.
No, a la meva feina no falto molt.
De salut sempre em noto bé.
Soy muy fuerte.
Tampoco están siempre felices. Están felices quan passen coses bones.
Hi ha moments difícils a la vida per tothom. Quan tenia el mal dia, tenia el mal dia.
Me pongo triste, amores me matan.
Porque la felicidad se construye día a día. Nos mete en la cabeza de repente, digo yo.
Jo puc prendre les meves decisions.
Yo decido por mí el voto. Senyor jutge, jo tinc ganes de votar a tots, als polítics.
Puc decidir de tenir una vida igual que la gent que no és com nosaltres.
No soporto la sobreprotección, no soporto por el mero hecho de ser diferentes que nos traten de otra manera.
Jo treballo a la clínica dental Echevarria, ajudant a la doctora a realitzar instruments.
A Cabrer.
Amb l'ajuda d'Aura, amb el suport necessari, poden treballar com qualsevol altra persona. I per això necessitem molts empresaris que tinguin ganes de provar aquesta experiència. Estem segurs que tots en quedarem satisfets.
A una empresa que es diu Redes Comerciales.
Yo trabajo a la Fundación Pascual Maragall.
De coses de secretaria.
22 años hace que trabajo.
A part de treballar aquí, treballo amb nanos petits a l'escola de música.
Y es el VCB de Sport. Y yo me llevo 25 años.
Em sento normal a la feina.
Jo treballo a l'hospital de Bellvitge i em passo molt bé amb les companyes.
La feina em fa tenir més ganes de fer coses. Treballo a Starbucks, facial. És un crac.
Treballa i a més està molt orgullós de la seva feina i tothom està molt content amb ell.
Al treball soc puntual.
Soy puntual a la feina.
Es profesional, o sea, es como nosotros. Te dedicas igual que cualquier otra persona del departamento, como un trabajador normal y corriente.
La porta a sentir-se pues, un més a la societat i orgull de ser vàlid.
És normal ser un empresari tenir por, però dintre de lo nostre Aura ho posa fàcil perquè tots els empresaris que realment vulgueu fer el pas no us suposi una gran dificultat, ni gran ni petita.
Conversemos de discapacidad y sexualidad. Personas con discapacidad de todo el país propusieron derribar prejuicios y visibilizar los problemas que enfrentan día a día. Conversemos sobre cómo vivimos nuestros derechos sexuales y reproductivos. La Convención sobre los Derechos de las Personas con Discapacidad incluye un apartado de salud que destaca que tenemos derecho a tomar nuestras propias decisiones sobre nuestra sexualidad y relaciones de pareja. Tenemos derecho a recibir atención de salud de calidad sin discriminación y y donde demos nuestro consentimiento con información clara. Pero las personas con discapacidad hemos escuchado las siguientes ideas equivocadas. Creen que no tenemos sexualidad, que las personas con discapacidad no podemos controlar nuestros deseos sexuales. Pocas veces contamos con apoyos o accesibilidad en los centros de salud. Muchas veces nos ignoran cuando vamos acompañados. Por eso, las personas con discapacidad declaramos: queremos vivir mejor nuestra sexualidad. Necesitamos una educación y una atención de salud sexual de calidad, accesible y digna para todas las personas. Exigimos contar con apoyos para que respeten nuestras decisiones. Te invitamos a conversar de esto en tus comunidades, una iniciativa del Servicio Nacional de la Discapacidad y la Facultad de Medicina de la Universidad de Chile. Más información sobre esta campaña en www.cenadis.gov.cl.
En México, muchas niñas y niños y adolescentes viven con alguna discapacidad y tanto ellas y ellos como quienes no tienen ninguna debemos gozar de los mismos derechos y vivir en igualdad.
Así lo dice la Ley General de los Derechos de Niñas, Niños y Adolescentes, la cual menciona que tanto autoridades como personas cuidadoras
deben derribar las barreras físicas y culturales que impiden el desarrollo de las niñas y niños con discapacidad.
Vivir en un México incluyente y sin barreras es nuestro derecho. Para más información, consulta www.gov.mx/Cipinas.
Discapacidad Televisión.
¡Hola mundo!
Primer canal de televisión dedicado al colectivo de personas con discapacidad desde 2006.
Hola, bienvenidos a Discapacidad Televisión. Recuerda suscribirte para no perderte los últimos estrenos y programas en vivo. Danos un me gusta, y así nos ayudarás a conocerte mejor y saber qué programación es tu favorita. Por favor, no te olvides de compartir, así, más personas podrán disfrutar de Discapacidad Televisión y toda su programación. Muchas gracias.